Thanks, Brandis. Utility giants have agreed to stop selling sensitive information to immigration and customs enforcement and other law enforcement agencies. Now, for years, companies have sold data from cable, phone, and power bills, including names, home addresses, and more. This move comes after pressure from Oregon Senator Ron Wyden and a national No Tech for ICE campaign. Supporters say it's a win, but some loopholes remain, including here in Chicago. And joining us to discuss the recent developments and those remaining loopholes are Nicole Hallett, Associate Clinical Professor of Law at the University of Chicago and Director of Immigrants' Rights Clinics, and Cynthia Rodriguez, an organizer for Mi Gente, a national and political and organizing hub for Latinx people. Thank you both for being here. Cynthia, I want to start with you. Explain to us how utilities have been selling sensitive data and information of their customers to ICE and other federal agencies.
Of course, thank you for having me. So I am Cynthia with Mi Gente. We lead the National No Tech for ICE campaign, and we've rung the alarm since 2018 that technology is being used for human rights abuses against immigrant communities. And so what we're seeing here is that for years, sensitive information like our names, home addresses, the people that we live with, and more has been put into the hands of ICE by utility companies and data brokers, right? Data brokers, the tech companies that collect this information. And in this case in particular, we're talking about a database run by the National Consumer Telecom and Utility Exchange, NCTUE. And so to break it down and how this works is that utility companies have people's personal information. Data brokers purchase that personal information and it becomes available for ICE, police, and federal agencies to access this information through various contracts. And so information is picked up from records like our phone bill, our cable bill, our internet bills, water, and more. And that information is sold and put into the hands of immigration enforcement.
I'm sorry, then this has been perfectly legal up until some of the recent changes, which I want to get to in a bit. But Nicole, I want to bring you in here because you did a study at the U of C that showed that despite Chicago being a sanctuary city where CPD is not supposed to share immigration status with ICE or federal agencies, there are some loopholes. Explain what those are.
Sure, thank you for having me. So ICE gets information about people and data about people from all different sources. And so the promise not to share utility information is extremely important, but that's just one avenue that ICE has used to get information. One of the very large avenues that they use all over the country is that they try to cooperate with local police departments to get information in the local police department's possession, and then use that to find people, identify people, and deport them. And so in Chicago, we have something called a welcoming city ordinance that is supposed to prevent ICE from getting information from the city of Chicago that they're going to use to try to deport people. And in January of 2021, the city council just recently amended the welcoming city ordinance to make it much stronger and to get rid of some of the loopholes. What we found in the study, however, is that because of the nature of surveillance and data, digital data today, and because there continue to be channels of information sharing between CPD and ICE, that despite the welcoming city ordinance, there are very often ways that ICE can get information about Chicago residents, even though that is supposed to be prohibited by the welcoming city policy.
Okay, and I want to get into some of that in a bit, but Cynthia, back to you. We mentioned that Senator Wyden from Oregon instituted some changes here. So what is different now with respect to these giant utilities and their ability to share this information with ICE and the federal government?
So what we saw is that because of this victory, over 171 million people's utility information is blocked from being used by ICE to fuel the deportation and detention system. And so we're talking about a specific data set that can no longer be shared. And so when people are signing up to pay their phone bill, to pay their cable bill, they're not thinking that their information is going to be placed into this enormous digital dragnet that can be passed along to ICE. And so for this particular set of data, that is no longer the case. But this is just one step, right? We're talking about the moment that we're living in is part of a big data economy. And so we still have a lot of work to do to make sure that information, as Nicole has described, does not continue to be used to harm our communities.
So there still is data being shared. And Nicole, back to you. As I understand from your study, the CPD has cameras and other kind of surveillance information that it actually does share with ICE, despite this welcoming city ordinance. Explain that for us.
So CPD and ICE work together in collaboration at something called a fusion center. There are these fusion centers all over the country. There's one in Chicago. It's one of the oldest ones. And it's at this center that ICE can get access to any of the digital data that the city of Chicago collects about its residents. You mentioned, surveillance cameras. The city of Chicago has more surveillance cameras than any other city in the country. And now with facial recognition technology, that can tell the government a lot about where we are and what we're doing almost minute by minute throughout the day. And so even though the Welcoming City Ordinance is supposed to prevent that information sharing, all ICE has to do is claim that there's some connection to a criminal prosecution, and they can get around those restrictions and get a massive amount of data. And there are no checks to make sure that ICE isn't misusing that power to get information that they're going to use to try to deport people. So there's this loophole in the system that allows them to do that.
Happening despite the fact that, as you mentioned, City Council tried to update the Welcoming City Ordinance to get rid of loopholes. Cynthia, I want to go back to you. Are there real-world examples that you have of folks that through the sharing of their utility information, phone bill, cable bill, what have you, that ICE found them and deported them?
Definitely. And this is a campaign that came out of community members realizing that something was wrong, right? Something was wrong with the way that community members were being targeted very specifically. And so we know that sensitive information like utility bill information is shared with ICE because of our community members. That's how we know how dangerous this practice is. So one of our members is Maru Mora Villalpando, co-founder of La Resistencia in Washington State, where folks organize against detentions and deportations. And she was placed into removal proceedings. And in FOIA requests, a Freedom of Information Act request, and in her lawsuit, she began to paint this picture that showed that she was retaliated against by ICE for her organizing. That's how she became placed into removal proceedings. In fact, ICE had tracked her internet presence, obtained information about her through data brokers. And so that's how dangerous the practice is.
So it seems more efforts on behalf of your group here and Nicole, yours as well. And we thank you both for joining us. Nicole Hallett, Cynthia Rodriguez, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.